I know what you're saying. When I booked my ticket, I was promised Joe was going to talk about 5 trends that are going to happen in 2019 that we've got to be concerned about. But nicely, that was done a lot better this morning. And I think when I hear of kind of the robotic process automation, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and a whole host of other things, gamification, it reminds me of a Bill Gates quote, which is we always overestimate the change that will occur in the next 2 years, which our industry does a significantly phenomenal job at, and we underestimate the change that will occur over the next 10. Don't be lulled into inaction. That's my message. Okay, so here we are, Easter Sunday, 1900, Fifth Avenue, my hometown of New York City. Let's give it up for New York, folks. My grandfather, he dropped me out of the window with a camera I had, and I took this picture. And I'm going to give you a hint. Spot the mode of transportation that's not a horse and buggy. And yes, as you guessed it, it's where the red circle is. Now, if you took that same picture 2 years from then, more or less the same picture. However, we go back Easter morning, Fifth Avenue, New York City, spot the horse. Answer is, there ain't none. They probably were all eaten or something like that, but no more horses. So does our industry conform to that same rule? So Easter Sunday, 2008, monster.co.uk. I'm not picking on Monster, just because I worked there for so long, I feel I could kind of take a little poke. 2008, from the eyes of a candidate, what could you do at Monster on Easter Sunday? You could search for a job, you could upload your CV, or you could sign up for a job alert. Okay, jump ahead 10 years later. Easter Sunday, 2018, you could search for a job, upload your CV, set up a job alert. So I think in the eyes of the candidates, we talk about the incredible pace of change in our industry, but let's be honest, I think our sales is more or less the same, and what we do, what we get paid for, is more or less the same. And I'm sure a couple of you are going to take exception with that, and that's fine. But I think it is all going to change. I think that 10-year sort of hiatus, it will change. And what's going to sort of foment that change, Google's come to town here in July. I think they're slowly going to spread out. They'll be pan-European probably by next summer. And I don't think they present an existential threat over the next year or two, but over the next 10 years, you got to be a little bit nervous. The fortunate thing is when I did a search, now I did this slide before Tarquin presented yesterday. I handed these in 2 weeks ago, right, Luis? Promise. So I've always got a test of job boards. I type in MD job in London or CEO job in London. Now, I'm all for machine learning and all, but 2 of those jobs are for executive assistants or personal assistants. So we really haven't cracked that yet. So I think Google and all of us have a lot of machine learning to do before we think we've conquered the problem. So, like I said, change is coming. Fasten your seatbelt. What is driving the change is what I call the 4 horsemen of the job board apocalypse. And you recognize those logos. And they're not going to change our life because of the size of their checkbook, although that is substantial. They will change their life because they've got a cost per click model. Okay, and as you all know, most of us don't. 80% of our industry is in duration-based jobs. Okay, so we sell, give me 150 pounds and I'll run your job for 7 days. And that's worked quite well since the late 90s. But I do think that's going to change. There's very excellent research, if I could plug JobGate and the Job Board Doctor. You can download it for just maybe a registration, maybe not. You can download it for free for sure. And this is just a comparison of 16-17 survey versus 18-19. So you see a slight uplift on cost per click, cost per application, more or less the same. But you can see there's kind of a push towards single job postings. Okay, so kind of the market mentality is moving more towards a transactional process. Okay, so that is a bit of a threat to us because the inconvenient truth that I had in my title is that the CPC, CPA model does not work for most of our businesses, for 80% of the market. How do I know that? Well, again, I use the research from Job Board Doctor and JobGate. I came up with an average price of an ad for 7 days. Let's say it's 99, could be whatever. You can do this test on your own job board. But 99 pounds, I took a look at the average number of clicks that a job gets as a result of the survey, global survey of job boards. 23 clicks per job is what we're turning out as an industry. Don't know if that sounds high or low to you. And 11% of those convert to an application. So knowing the street value of a CV, because not too long ago I was at JobsToday, we could buy a CV for about £1. Okay? Maybe ClickIQ had some research out a week or so ago about restaurant. Maybe it's £5. Okay, so charitably, let's say it's £10 you'll get per application. So it's £30 versus £99. Okay, 30 versus 99. We pride ourselves in artificial intelligence, but ladies and gentlemen, the shocking news for you is we rely on the natural ignorance of our customers. Sooner or later, we're going to get found out if we don't wake up to that mismatch between 99 and 3. Okay, have I got your attention? Okay, I spent lots of time at the regional press. This was print advertising in the regional press from turn of the century to 2019. So the business is virtually gone. Okay. Is this 2008, 2009 for us? Is there something that is possible to happen that we could go on the same trajectory? So yeah, maybe it is. So one avenue to take is completely ignore it, and yeah, next year you'll be fine. You'll be trading, barring any sort of economic calamity. Next year will tick along just fine. I was recently at a recruitment consultancy leaders conference, and they're mostly doing business as they did business 30, 40 years ago, as I got the feeling. Okay, not much has changed in that industry. So we could bury our head in sands, and things aren't, we'll be fine. We'll make our numbers next year. But I think we should have 5 New Year's resolutions. I'm advocating 5. Number 1, let's focus on quality, sell better, add value, control costs, and partner, network, outsource. So again, Job Board Doctor, JobGate research. Job boards were asked, what are your customers? What do they like most about what it is we do? And answer number 1, the quality. We want quality applications. That's why we come to you. Nearly 7 in 10. We want quality, but we don't want to pay. So number 2 is price. Okay, that's argument for CPA. And we want lots of applications, lots of hires, and we want to pay, as little as possible. What we as job boards value most, job alerts. We know that's the golden goose. We send them out, and magically we get lots of applications. We know SEO is great because it's free. Outbound marketing is great again. Not all that much investment for lots of joy. We love Adzuna and other job repido, aggregation traffic, and search engine marketing when we've got the right skill set in-house to do it. Fantastic. Magix Labs had another download. Is they have a perfect user score. I don't know if you've seen this or not. It's really simple. But and as you say, well, this is overly simplistic, but how many of us are even doing this now? So we've got Stephanie, Chris, and Matt going down the side, and we've got, are they registered on the site? Do they have a job alert set up? Do they apply for a job? Have they uploaded a profile, marketing prefs? And then they're ranked. And then depending on the ranking we're going to sort of change the message that we're sending to them. So you as a business have to determine what's most important. I would say job alert, based on the last slide, is probably most important. So how do we maximize job alerts out of what we've got? How do we change our site to get more of those? And Magix's research said, if you've got personalized marketing, i.e. you tailor it based on who you're speaking to, 17% better conversion rate. Second is selling. We genuinely are selling the same way by and large, we're selling the same way that we were selling at Monster in 1997 in a trailer in Massachusetts. Just get people on the phone, slam the phones. It's our biggest expense category. I would say mostly everybody in the room, if you're a job board owner, the first thing you do if you want to grow is you hire telesales, field sales people. They're our biggest expense category, could also be our biggest headache. Not too controversial, I don't think. So I would say seriously consider, if you have 10 salespeople, perhaps take that down to 7, hire a marketing person for maybe 1.5%, 1.5 headcount, and then put that other 1.5 into giving the 7 salespeople remaining, who are probably the 7 best of the 10, give them some decent companies to call. Jamie Leonard allowed me to speak to the RL 100, and they were given a question, how would you like to be sold to by job boards? And nobody really answered the question. They had to vent their spleen first, but everybody's got a real problem with, you've got somebody you've never trained who's calling me out of the blue, they have no idea what I do for a living, and they have no idea about recruitment. So that's what the largest recruiters in the UK are thinking about, our salespeople. So it's a broken process. We need to fix that. So I think that's a New Year's resolution. As JobGate's perfect candidate is, there's a perfect customer, isn't there? There's a certain type of customer, and we need to start segmenting our customers and different messages to them. Maybe your best customer needs your best salesperson on an account manager basis, that kind of thing. Really simple. And hats off to Ian and the guys at Simply. Ian's trying to pivot his business away from short-term, one-off postings to long-term. So reward your salespeople and reward your customers to give a long-term contract. Any kind of economic storm that happens, that protects you than the transactional nature of a lot of our business. Okay, and niche sites, above all, are most vulnerable to single postings. So lots of companies just do it. If your website is left-handed C++ programmers with blueeyes.com, people will only try you out once to see if you work. It's very hard to get a contract out of somebody like that. 3, obvious, add value. At Jobs Today, we started a business called TheSmartList, which became a 7-figure business pretty quickly. We understand that the recruitment value chain is very wide. Job postings occupy a very narrow portion of it. And what SmartList did very well is it does the sifting, the sorting, the ranking, the cajoling of the candidates, which advertisers love. So somewhere between a recruitment consultancy fee and the 99-pound job posting is the future, which was kind of the conclusion from one of our sessions yesterday. Number 4, batten down the hatches, okay, between the trade war, Brexit, and Lord knows what's happening to the electoral system with different countries meddling in it via social media. There's a lot of uncertainty in the marketplace. So, point 2, if you're thinking of building a slide between the second floor in your office and the first floor to show everybody how cool your company is, I'd probably hold off on that expense for the short term anyway, until things settle down. Outsource things that can be done better and cheaper. So do you really need to build your own chatbot? Do you really need to build your own job board? Pipelining tools, all of this stuff is available, a lot of it out in the hallway, and it's worth considering. Can it be done better and cheaper elsewhere? Old school courses, CV writing, we know, again, another company outside. And JobGate, not old school, but if we had a saying, Jobs Today, if we get £1 per month from every candidate, we'd absolutely be laughing because we had massive traffic. We just couldn't figure out a way to monetize it. And there are lots of new and inventive ways to do that today. So I would strongly consider that as well. Summary is change is coming. Do understand that, okay, maybe the momentum towards cost per click and cost per application hasn't been steaming along for all, 1 year from the next isn't dramatic, but there are 4 big monsters, big companies, sizable companies in the market that are educating the market that there is a better way to spend your money. Why are you giving somebody 99 when you could give me 3? Okay. Mitigate your risks. So my 5 recommendations: got to keep the plate spinning like you always do, and live to fight. And we'll see you next year. Thanks to Enders, which gave me some industry stats. Again, the Job Board Doctor, JobGate Research, Magix Labs, and ClickIQ. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Thank you.